What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look at the Social Security payment schedule for June. So we'll take a look at that. I also want to go over some of the comments from the last video that I posted. If you didn't catch that video, there'll be a link at the end of this video so you can check it out. But it was the Social Security Commissioner. There was some leaked audio, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So I shared it with you guys, and there are a lot of people that had something to say about what he said during his closed door meeting. And so we'll also take a look at what you guys had to say about that. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so let's go right over to the calendar. And I also want to talk just a little bit about what we're waiting for when it comes to Social Security in June. Realistically, they're in this big, beautiful bill that they're talking about. We don't have anything that's just for Social Security, but we do have the 65 or older, the $4,000 deduction. So we'll talk. I'll briefly go over that just so you guys understand what's going on with that. But other than that, let's go ahead and take a look at this calendar. And so on Tuesday, the 3rd, that is when people, Social Security and SSDI, people who started receiving Social Security prior to May of 1997, that's when you're going to receive your check. And then Wednesday, the 11th, that is when the SSI and SSDI will go out to people depending on your birthday. So if your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th, then you will receive your check on the 11th. And then the 18th, that is people whose birthdays fall between the 11th and the 20th. And then on the 25th, that is people whose birthdays fall between the 21st and the 31st. Now, one thing that you don't see on this calendar is SSI. SSI usually receives their checks on the 1st. However, the 1st falls on a Sunday, so that check went out in May. So you receive 2 checks in May, but you're not going to receive a check in June. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this big, beautiful bill and how it pertains to people 65 or older, so seniors. So right now, the bill passed the House. It's gone to the Senate. The Senate leader, Thune, has indicated that they want to create their own bill. And so that is what they're going to do. So we might see some changes, or we will see some changes to the current bill that we're looking at right now. But I still want to talk about the 65 or older tax deduction. And the reason that I want to talk about it is because it is being classified as Social Security. You know, this satisfies the Social Security, no taxes on Social Security. Well, the reality is it doesn't satisfy that at all. And it's not targeted just to Social Security recipients because it's 65 or older. And Social Security, you can start collecting at 62. So if you collect at 62, 63, 64, you're not going to qualify for this $4,000 deduction. And also, you don't need to be collecting Social Security benefits in order to qualify for the $4,000 deduction. Let's say you're 65, you haven't retired yet, and you're still working, and you're not collecting Social Security, you still qualify for the $4,000 deduction. If you're 66, same thing. 67, same thing. 60. So it doesn't, Social Security is not the reason why you're receiving this $4,000 deduction. It's your age. If you're 65 or older, that's when you'll receive it. So I just wanted to make that clear. Now, moving forward, we'll have to see if they do put something in this bill that will help people receiving Social Security benefits, because I'm seeing a lot when it comes to programs. I'm seeing a lot of take. They're cutting. They're not adding, they're not expanding any of these programs. So we'll have to see if the Senate does come up with something that expands Social Security, or that at least helps people receiving Social Security benefits. And, you know, I keep going back to this. The president did make this promise. The promise was that he was going to eliminate taxes for people receiving Social Security benefits. And he was on the campaign trail saying this all the time. It looks like that's not in this bill. And I won't even say, look, it's not in this bill. And so we'll have to see if the Senate will put that in this bill, but that would be much more costly if they were to do something like that. But right now, it's nowhere to be seen. And so that should be concerning, very, very concerning, because if you make a promise like that, and you have to think, okay, what were the promises that were made when it comes to tax cuts? We heard no tax on tips. We heard no tax on overtime. Well, guess what? Those 2 promises are in the bill. Although they're in the bill for 3 years, a 3-year window there, they're still in the bill. Why you can't even have Social Security and no tax on Social Security for 3 years, but you can have the no tax on overtime for 3 years. And so for those of you out there that could have benefited from no tax on Social Security, you need to be out there contacting your congresspeople and letting them know, hey, this is not what we signed up for. There was a promise that was made and it's not being kept. And you might think, well, there's $4,000. You get the $4,000 deduction. That doesn't do much, because all that does is brings you, let's say if you let's say you receive $30,000 in your retirement, Social Security and all of that. Well, the $4,000 deduction, all that's going to do is say, okay, instead of $30,000, it's now $26,000. That's what you'll be taxed on. So it's not really helping you that much. And for people who are over that already and they can't use that $4,000 additional deduction, it's not going to help them. It's not going to save them anything. Now, if you eliminated taxes entirely on people receiving Social Security benefits, that would benefit them because they're going to receive more money in their pocket. But in this situation with the $4,000 deduction, that is the least that you can do. You could have even said a $4,000 credit, dollar for dollar. That would have been a lot better than this $4,000 deduction, because a $4,000 credit, dollar for dollar, would mean that if you owed $2,000 in taxes, well, that $4,000 wipes it completely out. Where in this situation, it doesn't. And so I want to know what you guys think about this, but you guys also need to be contacting your congresspeople. I have the number, the switchboard number in the description. So if you go down to my description, you can check it out and you can call your congressperson. And really, I mean, you should be letting them know, look, this is not appropriate. This was the promise. This is what they're offering. And what they're offering is not even focused on Social Security. It's just focused on 65 or older, just focused on age. Okay, let's take a look at some of the comments you guys made from my last video. Here we go. Okay, so this comment is coming from Denise. Denise, thanks you for the comment. It says, who remembers Trump saying, I'm going to surround myself with the best people? It looks like all of them have, I think says, have dunce caps on. So, and this is what I'm saying when it comes to, you should know, or at least have a basic grasp of these different positions before you accept the responsibility. And in this case, that leaked audio of Mr. Bisignano, the Social Security Commissioner, he's saying, look, I had no idea what the Social Security Commissioner did. I had to Google it. I mean, if you're in that, if you're at that stage, maybe you shouldn't be taking on that responsibility. Maybe you should step back and say, you know what, this is above and beyond what I should be accepting at this point. And then Ella says, if someone has to Google information on how to do such an important job, he should not be doing that job. And this is another good point. If you really have to Google something, then you probably shouldn't be doing that job. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.